Hi guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Nuggets News or Trader Talk with our friend Charting Man Dan. How you going, Dan?
Good. Always a pleasure to be on Nuggets News with you, Alex.
It's been a few weeks since we last spoke, and the bear market or the correction continues. So, what are you sort of looking at on the daily chart, mate, or the weekly? What do you want me to bring up to start off with?
The daily chart's good. There's two major levels that I'm looking at. It's the low from mid-March, which was down in the lower $7,000 range. And then, of course, the low from early February, which was the lowest price we've seen in many months. And that is the level to be watching, because if that breaks, we're going to be entering a new little free fall period, and it's going to be a significant psychological level. If that breaks, we're going to have a lot of scared people. And I'm already, on the social media, you're getting people saying, I'm done. I'm done doing this, because a lot of people are hitting their breaking point with just a downtrend. But you continue to look at the longer term charts, and it's just, so if you've been doing this for a while, it was certainly to be expected. And we just have to patiently wait for another uptrend, because there will be an uptrend. It's just going to take a while to play out. And a lot of people don't have that patience, but now is a great time to take your foot off the gas pedal and to educate yourself and get comfortable in this space and be ready to strike when the next opportunity does come.
Yeah, and some of these projects that we concentrate on that have very strong fundamentals have been dragged down 80 or 90% with the entire market. And that doesn't make sense. That would never happen in the stock world. It is what it is in crypto and these young markets. So now's the time to be doing your research and finding those good projects. So I'll just bring up that market psychology chart that you mentioned, because I agree that we're definitely, we've seen a bit of panic and capitulation, and we're kind of in that stage now trying to work out exactly where we are. But as you said, on social media, people are definitely saying this is not what I signed up for. This is, I thought crypto only goes up in a straight line, we're going to get rich and all that sort of thing. But, since 2012, there's been a 50% correction at least every year. And I think the biggest that I've sat through is a 90%. It's just part and parcel of new technology in these sort of markets. So personally, I don't think we're going to enter a multi-month bear market. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, we'll know pretty soon. We'll know in a couple of weeks or so. In terms of a significant change in momentum, really we need news. And we've seen a couple little news events recently, the positive reaction to G20, and then we had a even smaller news reaction. But that's what's needed, and that's what is needed to turn around the psychology, because at this point, like we saw on that early February dump, the capitulation really comes from a climax of fear, where we see the most amount of bear volume of selling and stop losses triggering, and the most amount of bull volume buying the oversold dip. That's where we get our volume climaxes, and that's where the momentum and the trend can change, where, Bitcoin in early February bounced 100% from its lows. So in my opinion, it's either bullish news or we've got another dump coming, and we have to find a new support level, and things have to get extremely oversold again for any kind of bounce to play out. And a lot of people are talking about this, mid-May, $5 trillion coming into the market or whatever. I don't put a lot of hope into that, and that's really what it is. It's people hoping. It's people saying, the bulls are kicking the can further down the road and saying, oh, we'll have this to look forward to or this to look forward to. And it's just trying to keep, whoever put that out has incentive. I think it was Palm Beach. They have incentive to keep people interested in cryptocurrency. So I don't think, I fear that if that doesn't happen and we see a couple bearish days, in mid-May, that everybody's going to panic again. It's really setting the table for that.
Yeah, and there's I've noticed certain pockets, there's high net wealth individuals that are starting to get interested. But as you said, that big stock market money, we are waiting for that ETF or something that's concrete, and there's going to be a clear signal that money is going to rush in, so to speak.
So yeah, that the ETF is what, everybody has this debate upon regulation, and there's no right or wrong opinion on whether you want regulation on these exchanges or not. If there's an ETF, it's going to already be on exchanges that are regulated. People are going to be comfortable. Their money's already going to be ready to go to get into it. If not, again, I keep saying I don't see stock market money coming into the cryptocurrency space onto these exchanges the way that they are right now. We will need regulations for that to happen. Whether you want that to happen or not, that's fine. Some people don't want it to happen. They want things to stay the way they are. And in my opinion, we're not going to hit all-time highs unless we see stock market money join the party. So there's this, it's not one or the other. We can have fundamental advancements in blockchain projects and companies, and we can have regulated crypto exchanges that's just more specifically focused on the trading of the assets rather than, the fundamental projects. It's not like regulation on Coinbase is going to mean that, Litecoin is no longer going to be a viable short-term cash payment or whatever project you want to pick.
Yeah. And I mean, we're going into some pretty deep, maybe broader stuff, but I think we're going to see, just like we saw Binance move to Malta, we're going to see those countries that put up walls, innovation and money are going to move away. And those exchanges are making, ridiculous amounts of money each day off fees, and there's business and there's innovation to be captured. So, yeah, I think at first people may put up barriers, but those countries that adopt and have better tax laws and innovation, smart people are going to move to those countries and seek tax shelter. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. It's a unique story. I guess a few other things that I was looking at this week, I think Ethereum, the Coinbase ERC20 token news, Ethereum's been definitely the weakest. You noticed that technically as well. I thought it was
and honestly,
boost.
I'm looking at the time frame, because with consensus in mid-May, that would be some kind of a scenario where I would anticipate the price to slowly run up as the market prices in some potential bullish announcements for consensus. I personally wish we were at about mid to third week in April right now, because the timing would be really right to start looking for that kind of action to come in. If we stay bearish for another 3 weeks, I will be looking to, again, buy the rumor, sell the news is a common play. And leading up to consensus would be a scenario where I do think that Ethereum could start to see the correlation to Bitcoin more favorable to the Ethereum bulls.
Yeah. And do you have many long-term holdings? You hold a little bit, mate, or mainly
we have the big three holdings with the payments that we get for the chart guys, with whether it's courses or the alert system. We just hold those, and we have a standard, don't even look at it till 2020. That's just our frame of reference, and we'll take it from there.
Yep. I mean, I've got a few thoughts on which coins Coinbase might add. I know you've mentioned Golem in the past. I think they're going to be looking at those coins that have been around for a couple of years, that have got really strong teams, and are the sort of utility infrastructure plays that are no danger of the SEC cracking down and saying you're a security. So interesting to see how that plays out as well. That'll certainly give a big boost to whatever coins are lucky enough to get put on Coinbase as well. I'm sure that'll be a trading play for you guys when it happens.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to more opportunity, more names to trade. Absolutely.
Cool. Well, that's probably it for today, mate. Finally, I guess we'll just mention the trade wars and the traditional markets, and how I think we've both mentioned it at times in videos, but I think it'd be very interesting to maybe dedicate a whole video to that, as I know you've got some interesting thoughts on all that.
Yeah, things are definitely getting interesting in the stock market. And again, constantly watching for where money's going. But like I said, without that regulation, I don't think major money is going to shift from stocks straight into these exchanges. There will be some in terms of the high risk, high reward players, individuals. But in terms of, big money, we're talking tens of billions of dollars. I think it's going to take a lot more security, and it'll happen eventually with certain exchanges, whether we can have decentralized exchanges that don't adhere to certain rules, and then we can have maybe Coinbase becomes the standard for the US, and then they adopt a little bit more stricter regulation. We have no idea how it's all going to play out as the bottom line, but it's never a dull moment, and it's really interesting to watch unfold before our eyes, and the next few years are going to be very entertaining.
Exactly, mate. I look forward to it. Well, have a good Easter, and we'll talk again soon.
Same to you, brother.
Cheers, man.